Talking less creates an aura of power. It makes you look larger than you actually are. When you talk a lot, I don't know if you've noticed this, but people who talk a lot, there's something insecure about them. If you can't control your own mouth, if you can't control that, then what can you control? You can't control your emotions. You can't control your behavior. It signals weakness and insecurity. Whereas talking less, you're not going to say something stupid. And then when you do speak, it's going to carry a lot of weight. Well, I remember I did a book with 50 Cent called The 50th Law. And 50, I met him because he's a big fan of the 48 Laws of Power, right? It's like his Bible. And I remember for that book, I went to a lot of meetings with him. I was kind of hanging out with him. And he would always tell me, Robert, watch me in a meeting. I'll say very little, but everybody will have their eyes on me, right? Because when you talk, then they kind of know who you are and they start to almost disregard you. But when you're silent, particularly someone like him, why is 50 not reacting to what I'm talking about? Why isn't he saying he loves my ideas? What's he thinking? What's going on in his head? When you make other people think about what's going on in your head, you're the one in control of the situation. Whereas if they know everything that you're thinking, everything that you're doing, then they have power over you. So I would see him in a meeting and he would sit there all quiet and everybody else would be freaking out. So to sum it up, it's an aura of power. You know, business is very matter of fact, but it's also pure psychology, right? You've got to understand the psychology behind power. And I don't know what you're thinking right now. It's appearances, right? You could be wearing a mask. I don't know. You're wearing a mask. So power is about appearances. And there's weakness, things that show weakness. And in my book, The Laws of Human Nature, I talk about the weak body language, the weak thick signs that people can kind of feed off of you. They smell it. Then there are powerful things. And you want to create this aura of power, even though inside you might not feel so powerful or feel so comfortable or secure. But outwardly, you want to show this appearance that makes people think, wow, this guy, he's authority. I respect him. Talking less creates an aura of power. It makes you look larger than you actually are. When you talk a lot, I don't know if you've noticed this, but people who talk a lot, there's something insecure about them. If you can't control your own mouth, if you can't control that, then what can you control? You can't control your emotions. You can't control your behavior. It signals weakness and insecurity. Whereas talking less, you're not going to say something stupid. And then when you do speak, it's going to carry a lot of weight. So it seems like an unimportant law. Oh, always talk less than speak less than necessary. But it's actually extremely important to understand the psychology of what gives the appearance, the aura of power, and what doesn't. Every human being, we're all actors. Some are good actors, some act more, some are bad actors. But I always tell people, if you look at children, 3 or 4 years old, or you remember your own childhood, you were constantly pretending, you were constantly acting to your parents. You would act like an angel to get something that you wanted. You'd act all sweet and innocent because you wanted some candy, you wanted some game. Being an actor is part of human nature. It's deeply, deeply ingrained in all of us because we're a social animal. If you went around just speaking everything that you thought, you would offend everyone around you, right? If you told somebody that their clothes are ugly, that they look fat, that their ideas are stupid, they're going to hate you. You're not going to get very far in life. So you learn at an early age to control what you say, to control who you are, to control what you do. Think about your life. When you are interacting with Michael Jordan, you have a certain way of behaving around him, right? You're probably a little bit intimidated. You probably don't speak as much. But when you're around one of your other employees who just joined, you're completely different. You're acting. You're not the same person in front of Michael Jordan as you are in front of your 21-year-old new employee. That is acting. That's how we all are. We're different in front of our father than we are with our friends, right? So get over this notion that we can all just hang out and just be who we are. You're never being who you are. You're always acting to some degree. Let me explain to you the idea a little bit behind formlessness first, okay? So a lot of that comes from Sun Tzu, very obviously. It's an Asian idea about being kind of water and being fluid in life. But it's also an idea that for me came very much from Machiavelli. And I've noticed this with a lot of business leaders. I noticed it when I was on the board of directors of American Apparel and with the CEO, Dov Charney. What Machiavelli talks about is people rise to power. They become a CEO, they become a leader, they become a president or whatever, based on certain qualities that they have, a strength. It could be aggression. It could be being a people pleaser, being just very empathetic. It could be having a populist touch. It could be good with words, an orator. That's their strength. They use that and they get a lot of power because they're good at it. They don't have to think about it. It's almost natural to them. They get to a position of power, and now the times are changing because things are always changing, particularly nowadays, where things change month by month, right? Trends are changing. Young people are coming up. Tastes are changing. The world is changing. Your rivals are changing. The business world is changing. And you're still holding on to that one quality that brought you to the top. You're still thinking that my aggression, or that my being popular and pleasing everybody, or my speaking well, and you keep holding on to that, and the world has passed you by, and you're weak. And Machiavelli said, if I could create the monster, the Frankenstein of a leader in business or politics, whatever, it would be somebody who could change with the times, who they rose to power based on a strength. They see that it's not quite the right quality, and they adapt and they move with the times. He compared it to a river, and you're kind of moving like the water. You're flowing with this river, and that's power. But being rigid and having a form and having a strategy that you always rely on and having a personality that you always exude to the world and perform as is weak because you can't adapt. I mean, think of your business in the last 3 years. Can you begin to imagine all the incredible shifts that have occurred in just that time? To change yourself, to become fluid, to be something different, means you have to let go of the past. You have to let go of your ego. So that's a very important quality.
The first phase of the process is discovering your life's task. And that's the key to everything. It's the key to having a fulfilled life. It's the key to being happy in life. It's the key to reaching the goals that you want. Because what it is the process of self-understanding, self-knowledge. You have to become aware of what you were destined for in this life. You were born a unique individual. And it's a very interesting thought. It's the same kind of thought about your brain. There will never be another Michael Gervais. Your DNA is unique. The way your parents brought you up, their DNA is unique. The way they brought you up is unique. Your early experiences. You are a true individual, right? And that spark, that individuality is, I would compare to like a seed, right? It's been planted in you. And your destiny, your fate in life is to know what that seed is, to know who you are, what makes you different from everybody else, and to cultivate it. And if you don't understand that, the apprenticeship phase will be misery because you will start trying to learn and do things that aren't suited to your nature. Your brain has what I call a grain to it. And there's a book that I tell people that I like a lot called The 5 Frames of Intelligence by Howard Gardner. And he basically shows that there are 5 different kinds of intelligence. We tend to overemphasize the intellectual, the analytical skill, but there's musical intelligence, pattern intelligence, mathematical intelligence, there's social intelligence, there's kinetic intelligence, which has to do with the body and movement. There are 5 of them, I don't remember all of them. You have one of them. There's one of them that's stronger than the others, right? It's where your brain naturally gravitates towards. And if you don't have the right fit, if you're launch your career, you go into law because you think it's going to be making a lot of money, but in fact, your brain and your that seed was made for something else, you're going to end up hitting a wall at some point. You're going to be burning yourself out, and your life will take bad turns, and things will, you will never reach the goals that you want. And so, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what makes you different, then the apprenticeship phase is useless. You know, these are words, and really mastery is an organic whole, and it's kind of hard to separate the two because yourself is the craft and the craft is yourself. So the dividing line is very fluid. And so the craft is what's training you. You know, like writing books has changed me. I'm not the same person. I am the person who writes the books, right? And yet I bring myself to it. And to reach that level, I've had to master myself. And it's been a very arduous, difficult process. It took me many years. I didn't have success until I was basically 38, 39 years old. I was up till then quite a bit of a failure. So the process of mastering myself was very, very difficult, but you can't separate that from mastering the art of writing, you know? So if you're just mastering yourself, but you're not doing it for something, it's not connected to a goal, it's not connected to something concrete, then it won't mean anything. We have to live in a physical world. We have to be concrete, physical creatures. And the craft has limitations. You can't do anything. If you're mastering the piano, you can't just play anything. You have to learn the technique. You have to learn scales. There's a process, and it limits you. And working within those limitations develops you as a person, right? So the actual craft itself, the limits that it presents, and the process of mastering them is what will help you master yourself. You can't separate the two. You're working against a culture that is trying to make it harder for you to do that, because everything is externally oriented. Social media, what are other people doing? All of your attention is focused outward on what's going on in the culture, what other people are sending signals through your phone. And so the ability to look inward at who you are is harder than ever before. It wasn't when I was growing up. I was an introvert, and it was kind of a natural process. If I were growing up now, I don't think I would have developed the same way, obviously. So you have to begin from the process of, I have to know who I am, and it doesn't come easily because you're surrounded by voices. And the way the metaphor I give is that seed that I talked about, that individuality that you have, is like a voice in your head. The great psychologist Abraham Maslow, he called them impulse voices. They're voices saying that this is what I like, this is what I love. And as you get older, you accumulate the voices of your parents, your teachers, your peers, the culture at large, and it drowns it out. You can't hear yourself anymore. You can't hear that impulse voice of what makes you an individual, of what makes you different, of what you love. So you have to understand that you're cutting through this vast cloud of smoke, the screen that has been put in front of you that is preventing you from understanding yourself. So you have to look inward, and it takes time. It is a process like everything else. I do consulting with this, and a lot of people come to me with this problem, and they're in a hurry. They're in a hurry to know what their life's task is. I'm saying you can't understand that in a day or a week or a month. It's going to take years. It took me 18 years to discover the kind of books that I wanted to write. So it's a process. You have to begin like journaling. You have to kind of write down things. You have to become aware of the things that you love and the things that you hate. And I bring it down to a basic level. The foods that you love, the kinds of things that you like to drink, the clothes that you wear, just understanding what makes you different from other people.
Yeah.
You have to go through this process. The conversation with people, not everybody has access to people of incredible wisdom. It used to be in our culture that you could, or in indigenous cultures. But what you do have access to are books. You do have access to great writers from the past. I didn't really have a mentor growing up. I was pretty much left to my own. But I had writers and philosophers and thinkers and novelists that I gravitated to, who taught me a lot, who basically raised me. And then when it comes to mindfulness, I meditate every single morning. I had to get up early to come here, which meant I had to get up at 6 o'clock, which I don't normally do, to meditate. If I don't meditate every morning, I am in the worst mood. I am so desperately in need of it every single day. It's become a habit.
Yeah.
But it's the most wonderful habit of all. I can't tell you the rewards that I get from it. So I've been meditating for 15 years. You never really know if you're progressing because there's no signs of progress, right? But something is happening unconsciously. something is happening in your brain that you're not even aware of. And you'll notice it when normally in the past somebody says something that got under your skin and you go, that doesn't matter. Why am I even getting upset about it? You're not aware of it, but that meditating has done something to you. It has altered the connections in your brain.